So welcome to our Treasury Day, so annual conference dedicated to Treasury and specific issues. As you know, usually we try to address asset management, what to do with excess cash. But this year, not only we will have 3 other topics, and I hope that you will enjoy the program, knowing that we have 3 presentations, a break, and then we finish with the 3 other presentations, being more panels than real, let's say, individual presentation. I hope that you will enjoy. So welcome to this session, and thanks for those who came earlier for the extraordinary General Assembly of ATEL, because we had to make a lifting of our bylaws to comply with the new law for non-for-profit organizations. So thanks for that, and apologies for this admin obligation, but it was necessary to do that. So, and thanks to BNP for hosting this event, as they always do. So it's always a pleasure to be here, and I hope that you will enjoy this presentation. So today, to start, I wanted to give you an update on what we do on regulation. I don't know if I can move to the slides. Because recently we had a lunch with our partner in Brussels, Fleischmann Hillard, and we were presenting to our member, we were presenting to our member, or some of the member, what we do in terms of advocacy. Because you know, it's quite interesting to see that we have a lot of EU regulation. 95% of our let's say, regulation and financial regulation are decided in Brussels. Not in Luxembourg, not in Frankfurt, not in Paris, in Brussels. So it's quite important to make sure that we are, let's say, aware of this legislation. It's quite tricky because sometimes, you know, it takes a long time to get the processes respected in the 3 levels, because we have 3 levels at EU level, and then sometimes with the directive to be transposed into national law. So it's why it's not hot topic for a lot of people, but someone need to take care of it. And the good news, being member of ATEL, you are, let's say, a member de facto of EACT, EACT being the European Association of Corporate Treasurers. We have today 27 countries, 27 associations, and we are still expanding. I had a presentation recently to Norway, because it's not only EU, it could be some former EU members like UK, it could be new EU members like Croatia who came after, and we have recently welcomed the Danish, the Baltics, and Cyprus. So the idea of the association is to be together, because 25 years ago we realized that together we stand, and it's quite important when it comes to regulation to represent a EU body. So thanks, and sorry for maybe some repetition for those who were at this lunch when we talk about regulation. But regulation is quite an interesting issue, and be aware that we at EACT, we take care of your best interest. We try to defend your best interest. Again, very technical. Some people told me it's too technical, but if someone is not taking care of it, someone will decide for you. So better, because we are concerned, we are, of course, the end users of the financial services and the financial products, but often in the past we were, let's say, sitting in the room, but not on stage. So things have changed, and for 4 years now we are more active. So I just give you a brief update on what we do at EU level and what are the priority of this new commission, because we have a second commission, van der Leyen. So you can see that let's say the 2 first topics are more things that are not really interesting immediately for corporate treasurers, more as a citizen. But when it comes to mobilizing the private capital and what has been called in the past Capital Market Union, renamed CIU for Saving Investment Union, it's of course of interest for us, because it concerns everything what is related to asset management, money market funds, investment, commercial paper. Could we harmonize the market? A lot of things that are really quite important for us. We have also the simplification agenda. You know that in EU we would like to simplify the regulation, and we have this project, what we call the omnibus, or I should say the omnibuses, where we try to simplify as the US try to do. It's quite important. When it comes to simplification at EU level, we are not really good, because we we realized that it's really difficult. What we did at EACT, we made a lot of proposals to simplify, and I will give you one or two examples, because it's quite important to simplify the rules. So we can complain, but if we do not propose rules while maintaining the mitigation of risk for simplifying the rules, we could not complain at the end of the day. So we are also in talk with ISMA being the supervisors of the supervisors. So it's quite important. We talk more with ISMA, paradoxically, rather than with our local CSF. And here again, so we have a lot of issue. Personally, I'm quite skeptical about the real, let's say, effort in simplification, but at least we should support and encourage the effort. And the last one is the financial services regulatory change. And I just list here a few changes that will come, and I can't talk about it, but commodity will be quite important one, especially with the volatility we saw in 2023 with the winter and the crisis of energies. Money market fund I've mentioned, and I'm pleased to have Veronica Yumi from IMFA here today, just to prove that we also talk to the other stakeholders. So EACT is talking and working with other stakeholders like ISDA, IMFA, EFAMA, and some others. So EMIR, it's quite important for OTC derivative. You know that we voted recently EMIR 3, but you know, at EU level, every 3 years you have a review of the regulation or directive. So it will come again, and believe me, there is already something, because at level 2, ISMA has some new power to change things. Benchmark for the indices is quite important. You know that it was really difficult to use indices for some exotic currencies or Indian rupee, for example. So that was a real issue for us. AML KYC, it will come, and it's good news. Instant payment, a very important one. And maybe you saw the white paper we've issued on the verification of payee. It's an important one because we were behind, would like to be successful, not like in the US. And for that, we need the verification of payee. I hope that the LEI will be imposed. We'll see, but I guess it will be the case. And then we need to be ready, because we have different dates, but the 9th of October will be the first one. We need to be compliant. The bank should be able to verify in 10 seconds instant payment, but not only instant payment, we push for all euro payments. And sooner or later, it will be for all currency payment in Europe. So payment service directive, so we also work on the review of PSD2 to come PSD3. For example, definition of what is a payment factory. In some countries like France, Germany, the definition that was, let's say, stated today was pushing the one who want to be a payment factory to be a financial institution. So you can imagine if you are a payment factory like L'Oréal in Paris, so you could consider moving to Luxembourg or to the Netherlands just because of interpretation. So we've worked on that, just to give you a concrete example. Digital Euro, I will meet 8th of July with some of our members, Christine Lagarde in Frankfurt, so because we push for the Euro Digital, it's quite important because we have a lot of merchants within our organization. Again, what are the priorities? In just 2 slides, I've tried to summarize 4 main issues. The first one is the derivatives, as I mentioned. I think that we have opportunities. We've tried to do a lot to simplify. One of the simplifications we propose is the single-site reporting, because today we still have a double-site reporting. We push also to avoid that ISMA in level 2 try to restrain the definition of hedging and maybe hedge accounting, and potentially be more stringent. And the same with the threshold, because you know that we have 1 billion and 3 billion threshold. So we would like to reduce the threshold, where we think that we should increase or maintain the threshold. Just to tell you that it's a never-ending story. So we have risk, sometimes opportunities. Commodity derivative, it's also potentially a risk. We will see what will come out. But because of the energy and some energy company problem about 2 years ago, we could be facing a change that could hit everyone. Financial capital market priorities. Again, European commercial papers. They would like to have a less domestic market, but more international market, a sort of European commercial paper. Why, if you are ASML, are you going to UK for ECP and not to Amsterdam or to the NOICP in Paris? That's something we are working on, so an opportunity. Money market fund, but I guess we will talk about that with Veronica because she's well placed to talk about what IMFA is doing, because we know that in the frame of CMU or SIU, it will come back. Again, the idea is to make sure that money market funds are enough, let's say, protected and framed to avoid systemic risk and the risk of being in trouble as we face very a few times in the past. I keep thinking that regulation today is robust and have demonstrated the solidity of the system and the new regulation. Again, upcoming initiative on capital market, a lot. I mentioned CP, but we would like also to develop the securitization. Why our market in Europe are so weak compared to the market in the US? So today, apart from the leasing company, I don't know who is using really securitization. It's something I would like to do. T+1 is also another reform, knowing that at the end of the day, we will move for T+0 to comply to US and UK. So in terms of payment is really an important one, because payment, I've mentioned instant payment, but we could talk about the PSD3, open banking. So a lot of opportunities, potentially some risk. Card schemes, you know that if you're a merchant, I'm sure that you have noticed that the card scheme fees has increased by 7 to 8% a year over the last 3 to 4 years. So no transparency, domination by 2 US actors, and impossibility to control your fees. You receive a PDF file, 100 pages. I saw some reports from LVMH or IKEA, some of our members. It's completely impossible to digest. So we worked on that just to make sure that we can cap the scheme fees as we did for the interchange fees. Digital euro, a lot of opportunities. Again, we hope that everything will be interoperable. For the other regulatory area, ESG is an important one. There we could have simplification, I hope. Benchmark I've mentioned. AML, an opportunity. Maybe one day in terms of AML and KYC, it will be more harmonized in Europe. Late payment negotiation. We know that the Polish, during the presidency, have pushed for the late payment directive, imposing 30 days for any single payment, whatever the payee and the payer. What could be a big issue for banks, by the way, so it's why we lobbied together. I mentioned stakeholders. We also work with the European Banking Association and with BNP in particular. And LEI, we will see, but we are in talk with GLIVE because we think that LEI, at least it's a way to match the IBAN account and the payee. So in terms of achievement, just I don't want to make some advertising about what we do, but for the last 4 years, what has changed at the EACT level, we were monitoring what we call in French veille. So we were just looking at what's going on, trying to anticipate and sometimes to be more proactive. Today we are really clearly proactive, and it's why we are seen and viewed by the EU Commission and all the different levels, MEPs and the Council, as a sort of the real voice or the common voice of the real economy. And I think that things have changed. So they now call us to sometimes share the views and make sure that it's not only the views of the bank, insurance company, funds, pension funds, etc. So it's better balance, and I think that we did a great job. So you can see that we had a lot of paper. By the way, you can check on our EACT website, and you have a regulatory corner where we can find a lot of 1 or 2 pager describing the issues and what we produce. And what we also did, we produced a document, what we call the manifesto for the new commission, to explain to our members, but also to the stakeholders, other association or the EU civil servant, what we are doing, what mean corporate treasury. And you can see a few persons I recently met. At least you will recognize Nicolas Maquel, because you know he has an important role in Brussels. We try, just a couple of them among others, but we try to lobby at different levels. It's a long effort, because we don't have a spoiled system like in the US, but we have a lot of change. So you need to cope and to make sure that you are known by all the key persons to explain what we do. And the good news, our commissioner of DJ FISMA, Mrs. Albuquerque from Portugal, she's a former corporate treasurer, so she knows exactly what we do, and I think it's a change because the former commissioner were not really specialized in corporate treasury. So again, a lot of meeting, a lot of document issues. Go on the website, you can consult the manifesto, it will give you an idea of what we do. It's a hidden work, but it's quite important. If we don't take care of that, sooner or later you will wake up and you say, oh Jesus, EMIR has been decided, has been voted, it's now implemented and enforced, and we were not able to participate. Yeah, we try to communicate, we send a lot of documents, we try to keep you informed, but at the end of the day, it's always difficult because you are all busy, and sometimes it's 2, 3, 4 years ahead of the enforcement, so it's a bit tricky. But the message of today, we take care of you, we try to protect your interest and count on us. And if you have any question or doubt about the regulation, come to me. With my role at EACT, I can certainly help you. And by the way, we have a financial regulatory advisory group, FRAG, with IKEA, LVMH, Airbus, Telefonica, a lot of ArcelorMittal, a lot of big companies, and we have specific work with them. So we have really specialists, and believe me, with the public affairs of these guys, we worked a lot to make sure that we protect your right. So again, have a look. I just tried to summarize what are the key and hot topics at the moment in terms of regulation. And if, for those of you who come to the summit, you see that we try at the summit to explain what we do and to invite some of the stakeholders.